Xi'an. It's a city in northwestern China, famous for being a major stop on the ancient Silk Road. But it's also well known for its food, which incorporates both Islamic and Muslim influences. And its food is becoming increasingly popular outside of China. And so I'm getting it for myself. Some of the most popular foods of Xi'an. Come along, Xi'an food, on today's episode. Xi'an Gourmet has been open for many years here in Rockville, Maryland, but I think they recently changed their name to Xi'an Hot Pot and have a new focus in serving hot pots. That's why the grand opening flags and the grand opening banner is affixed to the building and the grand opening flags flapping in the wind on the sidewalk nearby. But they do have the old Xi'an Gourmet menu still, and so I can order from those selections. And it wouldn't be a Xi'an-oriented meal without the Chinese hamburger, the Rojiao. It's usually served with pork, and you can get it with beef. I got both. And I'm going to start with the pork. And this is a stewed pork. It's stewed and seasoned with various Chinese aromatics, and it's served on something like a pita bread. Sometimes it's called Chinese pita. Here it is. Oh man. Wow, that pork meat is diced up and chopped up really finely. And I think that's how it's served on the street in China, in Xi'an. They have chunks of stewed pork, and then they just kind of hack it, on the cutting board before it's served. They get it nice and minced and nice and chopped up, and they shove it into this pita bread. Wow, this stewed pork, it's really fine and lush. It almost has the texture and consistency of tuna, like when you're eating tuna salad. I'm trying to decipher, what the seasonings are, and I'm just guessing. It's probably the usual suspects when it comes to braising Chinese meats. Star anise, maybe some 5-spice powder, ginger, scallion, sesame oil, things like that. And it's really, really lush. I know I've said it already, but it's just remarkably fine and just minced and almost pillowy. Wow. The bread itself, it's very good. It has a doughy consistency about it, but it's not soft. It's firm but pliable, and it has a nice kind of grilled crispiness about it. So it's not like pita bread, like if you were eating a falafel sandwich. It's not like that. There's a firmness about it. It's soft, but it's not it's not doughy, kind of like bread would be in a hamburger bun. Despite this being called a Chinese hamburger, don't think that it's like a bun, like a hamburger bun. It's not like that. Oh, let me try the beef Rojiao and see what that one is like. Ooh, the beef one is much more saucy and kind of moist and liquidy looking. I don't know what it tastes like, but let me try it. It's very greasy. It has this kind of chili marination leaking out of it. Oh man. Wow. Oh my God. That is a decadent sandwich. I think what it is very thin slices of beef shank. So you have the meatiness of the beef shank, and then you have, let me look. Oh yeah, there's like intermittent interludes of tendony kind of material as well. And it's all marinated and dressed with cilantro, and it has a Szechuan overtone to it. Oh wow. Yeah, by Szechuan overtone, I mean, it reminds me of that chili Szechuan flavor. There's a slight tingling effect as I'm eating this. You know, maybe I'm not knowledgeable enough. Maybe that flavor that I'm recognizing isn't Szechuan. Maybe it is Xi'an, a type of Xi'anese flavor. But it strikes me as Szechuanese because that's what I'm more used to. I've had more Szechuan food than I have had Xi'anese food. Wow, this is really good though. Let me move on from the burgers. You know, those are street food staples. You can easily get them on the street from various vendors. Those Rojao are, an integral part of the food scene there in Xi'an. And so is this, the Bang Bang noodles. In the noodle-loving city of Xi'an, this is the top dog, as it were, the king of the noodles. It's a noodle that is hand stretched and then hand pulled, and it's usually served without meat, seasoned with some sort of seasoning that makes it spicy and rich and savory. And sometimes it's served with meat. The one I have here doesn't have meat. It does have some sort of chili seasoning on top. And it's a generous helping of noodles. Oh, look at this. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Wow. Let me get some more. Oh. It has a very wavy kind of texture about it, or a wavy appearance about it. Ooh, some of that spice got caught in my throat. Wow. It's a gentle complementary spiciness. It's not overbearing, but whoa, I got a whole mouthful of it, and then it kind of went down my throat, and I can feel it in the back of my mouth and in my throat right now. Ooh. I'm trying to recall if I've ever had Bang Bang noodles before. And they're called Bang Bang noodles because that's the sound that the noodle maker creates or makes when he slaps the pulled noodle onto usually a stainless steel counter. As he's stretching it and pulling the noodles, he'll flap it like a belt as a long, strand of noodle. And as he's slapping it onto the stainless steel countertop in which he's working, the noodle makes a sound like bang bang. And so this is Bang Bang noodles. And I don't think I've ever had it before. I'm thinking back to when I went to New York City, where Xi'an food is more readily available. And of course, you may know Xi'an Famous Foods, that famous local chain that they have in New York City. I did go there, and I've been to New York, countless times, and I've gone to Xi'an Famous Foods. I don't remember if I had Bang Bang Men or Bang Bang noodles there. There's so much to try. I don't know if I got to it, but my recollection or my understanding of it, let me say that, my understanding of it, having read about it and heard about it, is that, it's thicker. This doesn't strike me as a particularly thick noodle. Yeah, there's a very thin quality about it. And I don't know what the waviness is all about. Does the hand pulling of it make it wavy? I don't know. Or in fact, are these hand pulled? I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe they are noodles that are already made, and they're supposed to mimic hand pulled noodles. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But these are a lot thinner than I would expect them to be based on my understanding of these noodles. Now, having said that, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just, I'm just describing what it is. But in terms of the flavor, wow, it is very good. That sauce that they use, again, it strikes me as a Szechuan type of sauce because that's a familiar taste to me. And I associate it with Szechuanese food, not Xi'anese food, but what do I know? It does have that kind of striking chilliness about it. There are some incidental pieces of bok choy in here. These look like, yeah, these Shanghai bok choy. Mm. Yeah. They're just kind of boiled and placed in here. It is a nice kind of counter note to the texture and the taste and the spiciness of the noodles. For my final selection, I wanted to get the famous pita bread lamb soup. That's a famous, very well-known Xi'anese dish where you have a lamb broth and torn up pieces of pita bread. I think maybe something very similar to the pita bread used in the sandwiches in the Chinese burger, the rojiao. I don't think it's the same bread, but it's a very similar type of bread. It's broken up into little torn pieces, little cubes, and it's thrown into the broth on top, so the bread is soaking and floating in the broth. You might know about this famous soup. I wanted to get it because it would be a nice inclusion in a Xi'an episode, but they didn't have it. I was told that they didn't have the bread, so they can't make the soup. And that's unfortunate, but I did get another soup. I got the lamb noodle soup, and I went with it. I was told that would be a good alternative. The lady that was helping me at the front counter suggested it, and I went with it. But I don't know if it's a Xi'anese soup or if it's a Szechuanese soup or what. It's just called lamb noodle soup. Because they do have a wide selection of Szechuan items on their menu, and it's all kind of interspersed, so you can't really tell which is which unless you're really familiar with the cuisines. And I'm not. I don't eat Xi'anese food that often, so this lamb noodle soup, hopefully it is Xi'anese. Let me try the broth first. That's a good way to start, I think. Here it goes. Ooh, whoa, that kind of caught me off guard there. Whoa. That is a very meaty tasting broth. It's like they just boiled it for a very long time with some bones and some meat. Wow. And it's salty. It's very savory, and there's a pepperiness about it. Wow. Oh, let me try these noodles. These noodles look like maybe ramen, the Chinese ramen. They're very yellow looking, but they're not egg noodles. Oh, it's a good texture on those noodles. I wouldn't say it's bouncy, but there's a firmness about it. Not overly firm. It frankly reminds me a little bit of linguine, kind of like Italian linguine. When I think of lamb noodle soup, I'm thinking of chunks of lamb meat and, maybe even, bones in here, like meat on the bone. But it's slices of lamb, very thinly sliced. Ooh. Wow. It reminds me of how sliced meat is served with pho. It's kind of like that. But instead of being beef slices, you have lamb slices. But yeah, it's kind of like it would be with pho. It's sliced that thinly. Ooh. It may be a consequence of their having, switched to being a hot pot restaurant, because this strikes me as the kind of shaved lamb that you would serve in a hot pot. Maybe that's just the kind of lamb they have now. Food from Xi'an. I wouldn't say it's the most readily available Chinese regional cuisine here in the Washington, D.C. area. Others are more conveniently available. And so, yeah, this place in Rockville, Xi'an Gourmet, Xi'an Hot Pot. I'm glad that it's here, because I would say that it's certainly one of the leading spots to get Xi'an food here in the DMV. So I'm happy to have had my meal here, and I'm thankful for you for joining me and for supporting me. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Give it a like, and please consider subscribing if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on my next food adventure. Take care. Bye-bye.